What's up, people, man? I'm telling y'all can see what happened behind the scenes. You got to pay for that right now, but we're back with another great show. Law Nation in the building again, and we're going to break down all the reactions from the Christian Parker press conference yesterday, his X's and O's, and we're going to do a little bit of KBBU. Your boy going to take you out of school, man, and we're going to walk through the Vic Fangio cover 4 match. Stay right here with us, man. This show starts now. What's up, my good people? Welcome to the Cowboys DLLS podcast. A new era begins. You got a chance to hear from your new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, yesterday. We're going to go through all of that. But if you're in here and you're watching this show, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the like button in the chat. And we got merch for sale, 30% off, site-wide clear out, man. If you were thinking about getting a shirt or 2 shirts or a hat or whatever it is, you can get the Dallas over everything. You can get the Schotty shirt. You can get one of these dope hats that we have in there. Go ahead right now because while supplies last. If it's gone, it's gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't want to miss this opportunity to get you some of this fresh swag because I told you, man, we not here to take part, man. We are here to take over, and we want to put you in our uniform. You were part of this team. If you were part of this DLLS team, we want to put you in the proper uniform, man. So head on over to the site and get 30% off the entire thing, man. Clean it out. Clean it all the way out, man. Well, thank you all for being here today. We've been rocking out this week. The BET edition is here. My boy Jeff is our boy. Jeff is still out. The Black History Month edition of the DLLS Cowboys podcast is underway. And let's get this thing rocking and rolling. I am your host and your boy, Jay Holly. White Boy Wednesday. Wait a second now. John, all right. Okay, John.
Damn.
No, John.
Damn.
Okay.
Got him.
John, you know what?
Got him.
I thought out of
That's
everybody.
for what you said about Star Wars.
That is White Boy Wednesday about the Star Wars, man. I thought you and I had a strong bond. You know what?
No.
I guess because I didn't go to enough dive bars with you in San Francisco. I may make up for it in Indianapolis, man. But to my right, who had boots on the ground, asking great questions and giving you great pathway into what and who Christian Parker is, and dressed pretty nice today, man. Spiffy, he ain't put no lotion on his ankles though, y'all. But he look, business up top, ashy down low.
I mean, what we gotta do
it's
this,
all
though,
good.
dog.
The great one, Clarence.
Can you make it bigger?
Sometimes,
That's what she said.
Sometimes it's about being
Hello,
growing
ladies. Hello, ladies.
growing out a shower.
Dominique,
she
what's
don't
happening?
say.
Yeah, that's what she don't say. And to my far right is my boy, Mr. Get It Out the Mud himself, Mr. Hustle Hard, Mr. I'm going to go harder than them, Mr. Deep Voice, Mr. Juices and Berries, when I put my vest on, the game is on, Mr. That's my dog, man. Law Nation Sports is in the building.
Man, it's good to be here. Let's go.
Let's go,
what's that
man.
drop again? Let me hear it.
Look at Hooker's money.
Okay, the government money.
All right, listen. If anybody got a little bit of that government money, want to go a little 2 for 1, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I got to go to the grocery store. Groceries at an all-time high right now. All right, but let's get into this. But let's get into this thing. Christian Parker at the podium yesterday. You know, we had so much hype about Christian Parker, the hiring process, the youth, the way that he hired his staff, where he came from, and the tree that he came from. And finally, we got a chance to hear Christian Parker speak. And we did a brief emergency pod afterwards. And if you haven't gone and seen that, go check that out. It's still up there on YouTube. But Clarence Hill, you were there, so I want to give you the first chance to, you were in the room, front row seat. You got to ask questions to Christian Parker. Your first impressions of the new defensive coordinator now that you had a chance to hear him speak.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it this synergy going. We're talking about Star Wars. It's the new Luke Skywalker. He's the young Anakin Skywalker. He's the young man. The Force is with him.
The Force is with you.
The Force is with him.
Okay.
I mean, you listen to him talk.
Yeah.
Everything, he just oozes confidence.
Yeah.
And Schotty talked about him being, a guy that's wise beyond his years, 34 years old, meteoric rise, and just how he handled himself. The moment wasn't too big for him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was not flustered. He was undaunted, answering questions. He talked about, the interview, and they took him through the ringer. Asked him, it was a long, arduous interview. And he said when he headed back to the airport, he had no regrets.
Okay.
He was very confident.
Okay.
Job is mine. Schotty said he was the last person they interviewed on Zoom. He was the only person off the job. He hit it out the park. Everybody was impressed. And Schotty said the more we talked to him, the more we wanted to know.
Yeah.
And he had Jerry and Steven engaged and intrigued. And now that we got a chance to talk to him, because we've heard everybody talk about him being a rising star, I get it.
Yeah.
He was undeniable. The draw was unmistakable. Why you like this young man and like the way he talks the game. Now he got to get some help. He needs some players, but he handled himself well.
Law, we jumped on afterwards and we had the conversation, about our first impressions. Now that you had a couple of hours to kind of let it all soak in, right? You went back, you did your show and you got a chance to watch it and you saw some of the quotes that a lot of people had broken down from it. What was your impressions on the new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker?
He knocked it out of the park, first impression, and him able to speak the things that he was going to do for this team is good. Now we just need to see it in action.
Yeah.
He's a good talker for right now, but what's saving him are other people speaking up highly of him. So it's a wait and see type of thing now. But to know that this team is really going after the youth, and what they did was measuring twice, cutting once, making sure that they got somebody in there that can educate and train and teach these guys, that's everything to me. Now I just need to see it, because since 1996 all the way up to this point, the Cowboys been the most penalized team. They've been the most undisciplined team as it relates to these penalties. So if we can decrease just that number, that's a plus for us.
I'll stick right there for a second with me.
Because you know where I'm going with the stove hot and all of this stuff.
Yeah, but do you feel like the discipline, the penalties, that type of stuff, is that player driven? Is that coach driven?
Ooh, a fish rots from the head down. So I believe as above, so below. So if the coaching staff is not well equipped to put the disciplinary actions out there,
right,
then the kid's gonna run free, or whatever the prisoners run the asylum type of thing.
Yeah.
So I want, even though he's 34, I want him to crack his whip out there and make sure that everybody can have a well disciplinary type of situation.
Yeah, and again, that's coach player. We came first, the chicken and the egg. We've been talking about this for years. I remember Bill Parcells saying, "I don't coach penalties."
I like that.
That's on
I
the
like
player.
that.
I don't coach penalties.
Well, there's also a saying that says, from a coaching perspective,
right,
either you're coaching or you're allowing.
I know it, but Bill Parcells, I don't coach penalties. They ain't got to do with me. That's on y'all. But we all know that since Mike McCarthy's been there, the Cowboys have been one of the most penalized teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Going back to where Mike McCarthy showed up, and it didn't really tail off last year with the change in coaches. But so it's on both of them for sure. And we all take him out the game. He false start, then they say, well, we like aggressive penalties, just some pre-snap penalties,
Yeah.
But you look at some of the teams in the playoffs. Did the Seattle have a lot of penalties in the playoffs? Did New Orleans have a lot of penalties in the playoffs?
No, they didn't have. They didn't have. There was a very well disciplined team. All those defenses in the playoffs were very well disciplined.
And we know D-Log jumped off sides how many times when he was here?
Yeah. But I can say this as someone who was in the uniform, and one of the reasons how penalties come about, there's a couple of ways. But one of the reasons how penalties come about, believe it or not, is conditioning, right? It's conditioning because, and you hear, I've heard, and you hear Michael Irvin talk about it all the time. He learned
Right.
that from Jimmy Johnson. He said, fatigue make cowards of us all.
Facts.
Right? When you're tired, when you're not properly conditioned, then you begin to do dumb things.
Facts.
Right? Your brain, that's in life.
Right.
If you're tired in life, you don't react the way that you're supposed to react. Right? And then the second part of it is, if you don't hone in on your craft, if you're a guy who's a grabber, if you're a guy who doesn't take the proper steps to get off the ball as an offensive lineman, if you're a person who's not in the right holes as a linebacker, like all those things will begin to lead to penalties.
Oh, and just to echo that, that's what a lot of people don't know when they don't know ball. If there's some penalties that's not penalties. If you have foresight, you're supposed to come down and hit and field on that foresight. I'm talking about from the defensive aspect of it. Sometimes when you look at penalties, people look at the flags, but it's the unknown. It's the things that they don't call most of the time that get teams in trouble. If you have hook responsibilities to flat, then that's where you're supposed to be at.
Right.
Not everything is a flag. So that's why I hope that with Ryan Smith, with CP Christian Parker, with the guys that he hired to be on his staff, Marcus Dixon, all of those boys, that they on the same page with the levels of discipline.
And you make a great point, which segues me to my next thing that I took from the Christian Parker interview, was he talked about not just coaching players, but teaching players,
there
right?
You go.
Because there comes a point in time in an aspect of a game where I can say, like you said, hey, you got hook flat, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you got deep third. Hey, you got outside containment. But then the next part of that is, here's why you have hook flat.
Woo. Come on.
Here's why you have the deep third.
Yeah.
Here's why I need you to keep outside containment. And so it's teaching the part of it, and then also teaching the reasons why I need you to be there. Because sometimes you can teach it, and believe it or not, you can. Trust me. I've been around some dudes who have played this game since you've been playing this game since you've been in the little league, and they don't know.
And they just don't know.
They just don't know.
You'll be surprised, even on the National Football League.
Right.
Level.
You be like, well, I know I'm supposed to keep outside leverage, but why am I supposed to keep outside leverage?
Clarence, like
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Grumpy.
I got nothing. I
Go
have
ahead.
nothing. But I've always said, just because you played the game, I mean you know the game. I mean,
good.
That's and we have conversations about it all the time. But I would say this.
Go ahead.
And listen, we love in Christian Park. We love the idea they got teachers.
Yeah.
But the notion that they didn't have teachers before is a fallacy. The notion that they didn't tell these guys what to do is a fallacy. Let's not do all these former coaches like this, like they didn't explain what they want. They didn't explain the reasons why. Mike McCarthy talked about when he changed the offense, reason why we do this, why you number one receiver, why you still got to run. I mean, this has been part of coaching. This is not new information.
No,
the idea that we have teachers is not new. They've been teaching. They've been teaching. They've been explaining the reasons why I want you over here. They've been explaining this stuff. You still need better players.
You do. You still need better players. But we're not going to
I'm just saying that we're going too much with they got teachers like they didn't have teachers before. We're not going to do the former coaches who were here and act like they didn't teach.
Hold on. Coaches do matter, though, Clarence.
It does matter.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They bringing in quality kinds of caliber coaches.
I bet if you took Nick Saban, just like Nick Saban found out in North Carolina. I mean, not Nick Saban. Bill Belichick found out in North Carolina. With all due respect.
With all due respect, but I'm getting what you're saying.
I'm just saying, great coach, greatest of all time.
So are you?
And you gonna tell me now he's not teaching them what to do? Now he's teaching fumbling, interceptions. He ain't got no players. Tell Nick Saban to go to Rice and do the same thing he did at Alabama.
So
you still need great players.
Going back to running back coach. So you was high on Jeff Blasco teaching these running backs how to run. Come on, man. Come on.
Why are you gonna do that? That was a family friend. So number one, and that's just that's an outlier. And that's an outlier, and they didn't have, look at the running backs they had in the room at that time. Don't do that. Don't just throw Blasco.
I'm using him as an example. Or Scott McCurley.
We're talking about the secondary coaches now. We're talking about the secondary coaches, and they got other people to coach. I'm just saying that it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that. That's why.
Just like the former Cowboys, former defensive passing game coordinators in Kansas City now with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Andre Curtis.
Yeah.
And he's been a good coach everywhere he's been. Okay? Been highly regarded everywhere he's been. Now all of a sudden he didn't teach.
we'll keep this conversation. We'll keep this conversation going. And one of the things I'll say before we go on the break, because Clarence, you always sit here and tell us, I'll talk to me when you get some kids. And one thing I do know about certain things is that parents can tell a kid to do something over and over and over and over and over again, the right thing to do, and it never gets into their brain. And then the complete stranger can come in and tell them the exact same thing, and all of a sudden it clicks. Right. So that's a part of the coach. Sometimes with coaching, yes, there's always been teachers, but sometimes when you have someone teach it to you a certain way, it actually sticks. We don't know if that's Christian Parker. We hope it is, and we will see. Coming up next, we're going to get more into the Christian Parker conversation. We're going to talk about some of the things that he talked about, his X's and O's, his scheme, 3-4, 4-3 spacing, all the type of stuff coming up next right here on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
I'm not going to be messy.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy, Jay Holly, man. And look at me. I'm styling and profiling at my branded Bills fitted, baby. And whether I have it on or whether you want one, they have you covered. They got you in snapback, truckers, fitted, beanies, or tees. Branded Bill has you covered with performance and with awesome style. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? Well, Branded Bills has you covered there. All you have to do is start your order, and their dedicated team member will come in, and they will help you create the exact custom look that you're wanting, man. You don't have to look any further. Branded Bills has got what you're going. And now, they also have a little bit of a partnership with over 40 colleges as part of their custom campus collection. That includes Texas, Texas Tech, TCU, and others. So if you want to rep your college squad in style, Branded Bills has you covered. So head on over to brandedbills.com and use the promo code BBDLLS and get 15% off your first order. BBDLLS and get 15% off. Man, summer is on the way, so that only means one thing. Those grills are about to be popping. Let me tell you about my friends over at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. I don't know if you heard it or not, but the beef prices are sky high. It's all over the news. Everyone's talking about it. But my friends at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market, they got you covered with over 700 items and 500 items under $10 per pound. And they have over 250 cuts of beef, poultry, seafood, pork, and even the exotic meats like rabbit and ostrich. And if you even want some of that gator, baby, they got you there too. And if you're like me, you just can't have the cuts. You got to have the sides as well. And they have a plethora of sides, the mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes, all that you need, even some of their spices. So frozen is fresher at Wild Forks Food, Meat, and Seafood Market. Their organic grass-fed beef, 85% lean at just $6 per pound. So head over and see one of them at the non-DFW locations or hit them up at wildforkfoods.com. Welcome back to the Cowboys DLLS podcast, the BET edition. Jeff is out on vacation. He'll be back next week. Yeah. Then I'll be out on vacation.
Yeah, musical chairs.
No, but I'll be out a day, but then we'll be all back together. Okay. We'll be in Indy for the combine, so we'll all be there at the combine, giving you up to the minute shows and updates. And Clarence will be doing what Clarence does. And trust me, y'all can say whatever the hell y'all want. Ain't nobody like him.
Ain't nobody
like him. The places that he can get into, the people that he knows, the conversations that people are willing to have with him, say whatever the hell y'all want. I watched the man in action several times for years. He nice. So we'll be in Indy. He'll be on the bus with Jerry and Steven. So we'll have conversations coming from that. We'll have all your prospects that you're looking at with all their heights and weights, and we'll give you our perspective from there. We'll talk to some agents. We'll do a bunch of stuff. We're probably going to go eat somewhere. On Clarence dollar?
On Clarence dollar, big money. No. Boy got them big pockets, boy.
Nah.
It's going to be a Prime 47, man.
Okay.
Prime 47.
I got an invite last night. I was thinking about you. I got an invite last night to a little shindig, and I put you as my +1.
Yeah.
What, on Friday?
The 27th. When is that? Friday? Yeah. I put you down as my +1.
+1.
Yeah. I got you, Playboy. I got you. I
appreciate it.
Other way.
You guys are building racial walls between Jeff and I.
Oh, I was the only one that accepted it. Yeah, look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Does it have 4 rooms?
I don't even know. I didn't even look.
Nobody sleeping on the couch.
Boss just said accept it, so I accepted it. Me?
I'm taking it first.
Get the biggest room.
All right, as we get back to the conversation, the Christian Parker conversation, introduced as the Cowboys' new defensive coordinator yesterday. And in the conversation, Christian Parker, who was very intelligent in his speaking, very confident in his speaking. And he spoke about some things when he talked about, what kind of defense do you plan on bringing to the Dallas Cowboys? And, knowing that he comes from the Vic Fangio tree, and he talked about we're going to be multiple. And that means we may come out and look one way, but we may change at the line of scrimmage. Emotion may change. We're going to be multiple. We're going to have 3-4 by nature. We're going to have 4-3 spacing will be appropriate. There's going to be some 4-2-5 in the nickel. Different structures, covers behinds. So all these different things that Christian Parker talked about in the press conference yesterday. I'll start with you, Law. When you hear him say, we're going to be multiple. Yeah. Now, that's a word and a concept that we've heard before.
Facts.
Right?
That we all been wanting.
We've all been wanting. Yeah. But do you fear the multiple, or are you more excited because of Christian Parker and what he can do with the multiple?
Man, I'm going to keep it real. It's I'm 50-50 with it, because I do know that there could be some growing pains with that. It could be some talent with that, because not everybody got the multiple capability.
Correct.
Right? Not everybody got that skill set to be a hybrid. So that means that you're going to have to find talent to implement your scheme and your system and philosophy. But by him at least saying it, meaning that we're going to have a full training camp to get the best out of the players. If you're a zone safety, then you're going to play zone of a cornerback, et cetera. So I do like that aspect out of Christian Parker. You won't get the same test twice type of thing.
And what I like beyond the 4-2 and whatever, 5-2 and 4-3 and all of those 3-4 is that he's going to base his schemes and how he plays based on his players. One reason why T.J. Watt is not here is because of stubbornness to his scheme. Mm-hmm. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Okay? Ooh. Matt Eberflus was here, but he wasn't defense. It was Rob Marinelli, but we're stubborn. This is the type of scheme we play. We're looking for players to only fit this scheme.
Man,
so we had to draft Taco Charlton and then take T.J. Watt because we were, instead of focusing on good football players, we were focused on the scheme.
To your point, quote from Christian Parker, you build it around your players, speaking about his defense. Right. Says you have a core foundation of beliefs, but you want to build a package that has versatility and scheme, but you want to highlight it around their strengths. So he's talking about the defense that he wants to build and the players that he wants to build within that defense. And the one that I am looking forward to seeing, and this is going to be in a very important OTAs and mini camps, because Christian Parker, yes, he's watched film, and I'm sure that he's trying to evaluate guys from what he's seen off film. But he's not going to have a true indication of who and what and how until football's hands on. Yeah, I gotta be able to move the chess pieces on the field because I can have a concept and go, man, can Maris Leofau drop in coverage? And I can say low, and then you get him on the field and you go, can't. Or, he can, right? Yeah. We didn't know that Micah Parsons could be one of the baddest pass rushers, and I mean baddest in the good way, pass rushers in the entire league until an injury happened to Tank. Right. And Dan Quinn go, hey, young fella, let me see what you look like rushing the passer from here. Yeah. And Eureka, Micah Parsons becomes the highest paid, one of the highest paid defensive ends in the National Football League history because of that, right? Yeah. So getting it on the field with Christian Parker with those players is going to be key.
Right. Yeah. And you like his influence. I mean, there are so many things from the press conference from Christian Parker you like, and I guess Mike
Jones.
One thing I liked was we learned some things about him. He was a political science major, okay, and we talked about his scheme, but just his mindset and how he was influenced not just by his coaching, but philosophy and leaders of the world and leaders of the past, leaders of different countries. Talked about this Marcus Aurelius or Seneca, okay? Yeah. The whole philosophical realm. We talked about the art of war. There's things he's reading, that's going to give him an edge And this is a young man with an old soul, but he's also a well-read young man.
Yeah.
And one of the things when it comes to personnel that we've talked about here on DLLS a couple times, because I went back and I looked at some of the things that I saw online about what his most important spot was on the defense. And it talked about being the nickel corner, right? Yeah. And this is another one of his quotes from it yesterday, Christian Parker, on the importance of the nickel in his defense. A quote, very important. That guy, he is a corner sometimes. He's a safety sometimes. He's a backer sometimes. He's a defensive end when he's blitzing. You want to have a guy who has natural instincts and ability to feel the game and play football. He's usually a guy who, if you were playing football on Saturday around the neighborhood, he was your first-round draft pick just because the feel of the game came naturally. That's definitely important. That's definitely an important guy to a good defense.
Yeah.
So you're talking about multiple. You're talking about different 3-4, 4-3. One of the guys in that defense that's going to play a huge part of that is the nickel corner. Right. Now, right now, as we currently sit today, they don't got a versatile.
They don't have that.
The Cowboys currently don't have a versatile a guy who can play safety and nickel and backer. They don't have that on the roster today.
As of today, you're right.
Right? Sound like Darren Woodson. Why Darren Woodson been Hall of Fame? but Zuleman, you got that right.
Yeah. But that is a position that he holds in very high regard.
Most certainly,
is going to be the guy who's able to give him
or to technically affect the quarterback, basically.
Yeah.
Because all quarterbacks, we all know, they read high to low.
Yeah.
And if I can just give some wrinkles to that, variations to that, where a quarterback just can't just sit back and look at a defense and know where he's going with that, and you got that person that can move everywhere on that chessboard, come on, man. This defense can be scary, but you got to make sure you find that guy. And I love the fact that he lamented this way before the draft, way before free agency kicked open. We will see the directions of this team, what they're going to do.
And Jerry Jones, if you remember, if you go back towards the end of the season in his press conference, Clarence, you were there.
Yep.
Jerry Jones talked about missing that dog in the slot, which and he referenced Jordan Lewis.
Yeah,
a guy like that who he had on his team is no longer here.
Facts.
A guy like Jordan Lewis is one of those dogs that you would have on the defense who could do multiple things. Now, I think Jordan Lewis was a little bit small to play the nickel position. I think that Christian Parker wants him to play. And some people may even say like, oh, they got a guy like Marquise Bell that might be there. And I don't know if Marquise Bell is that player. To me, he's not that player. I'm not saying that he's not there's not a place for him.
Right.
But I don't think he's the guy that Christian Parker is referencing in this particular, scheme. And so and that's when you talk about the complexity of the game. We always talk about it from an offensive perspective, right? The motions, the shifts, the different formations, lining guys up in the slot and having the route combinations. But if you can be complex on defense,
come on with it.
Right? Like if you can, because one of the things that we lacked last year was the ability to not just be standing targets.
Right.
Right? Like the quarterbacks get the line of scrimmage, be like, oh, know where the ball is going. And they're just, whoop, whoop. I mean, Russell Wilson came in here and threw for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and later on found out that he had a bad hamstring. He had a grade 2 hamstring. Right. And he was across the street. He was across the street at the Mavericks facility rehabbing the night before the game.
Yeah.
Right? But because the defense was so porous, he was able to come in here and look like the old Russ.
Yeah.
So defensively, they have to be. You have to be multiple.
Got to be,
because the coordinators are getting so smart now. If you are not multiple, if you're not giving them multiple looks on the same down, then you're a sitting duck.
Sitting duck, man.
And that's just not where you want to be.
No
doubt. I mean, you look at and I think that his concept, his ideas of what he wants. This is what I did. That's a model, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to find that exact model. Okay.
Yeah, it's
hard to find that because I'm thinking of who was his nickel corner in Philly. Who they could do rush and cover tight ends.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper and them.
How much did he blitz him? How much did he rush him?
This
though?
depending on the leverage of the field.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. Yeah, Cooper DeJean. Was he outside, inside? Where was he?
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was the point. He played outside at times. And when you went base, when you went two wide receivers.
But was he a linebacker? Did he do linebacker things?
I'm just telling you, that's what he was doing. He was playing a little bit of everything. When we get to KBBU next, I'm going to show you a clip. You're going to see Cooper DeJean. Boom.
There you go.
Hey, listen, I'm a professional at this.
Let's set it up.
So coming up next in KBBU, you know what it is, No Ball Better University. We're going to look at the cover 4 match. This is a Vic Fangio staple in his secondary defense, and you know that Christian Parker is bringing that to town. So stay right here with this. KBBU is coming up next after the break. What's going on, good people? It's your boy Jay Holly, man. Oh. All right, there we go. All right, man. Listen, if you were thinking about or wanting some merch, now is the time to go get it. We have a huge sale going on right now, 30% off site-wide. So if you wanted the Stay Sicey, you was like, I wanted the Stay Sicey shirt. I didn't get it the first time when it came out. He's probably gonna be here. I think he's gonna be here. Go get it, 30% off. If you wanted the Dallas over everything, if you repping that D-Town boogie, if you from the D-Town, if you from DFW, you want Dallas over everything, go and get it. You want the DLLS, go and get it. And now, it doesn't have to be football stuff. We have Rangers, we have Stars, we have Maverick stuff. The Cooper flag shirt is there. So all you got to do is head on over and jump into that and get online. Give me the, alldls.com, right? Yes, that's it. That's it. Log on. That's all. That's it.
ALLDLS.com. Go to the
ALLDLS.com. There we go. Just drew a blank for a second right there. Head on over there, log on, and pick up a shirt for yourself. Pick up a shirt for now, fellas. You know how this goes down, right? You know how this goes down.
Well, she wear your shirt.
She always want to be in your hoodie.
Wear your shirt.
She always want to be in your shirt. Go ahead and get her one. Go ahead and get her one. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get you 2 of the same one so that she can go ahead and she can put it on. And listen, sometimes that could be like y'all little thing. Like, hey, if you put on that Cooper flag shirt, I'm gonna capture the flag. That could be y'all bat signal right there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And right now, they 30% off. They 30% off. You can go get a bunch of different shirts. We got the bubblegum shirt up there. You might want to say, hey, feel like a little bit chewy right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go get that, right? You want to get that. You might have her put on the Stay Sicey shirt. You go put on the Shiesty mask. Y'all play little cops and robbers. Whatever it is that you want to do, go ahead and get you a shirt today. 30% off site-wide clearance sale. All right, welcome back to the Cowboys DLLS podcast. Law Nation, Clarence Hill, Jesse Holly. Jeff is on vacation. He'll be back next week. But it's time to take y'all to school, man. Welcome to KBBU, No Ball Better University, and I am your professor, Jesse Holly. So all of my good students come to the front of the classroom. You know what a good student says. All of you riffraffs and wahoos, get to the back of the classroom or get the hell out. All right, man. Christian Parker is your new defensive coordinator, but he comes from the Vic Fangio tree. And he talked about the being versatile and multiple and doing different things. And so one of the things he learned from Vic Fangio that I'm almost positive that he's going to bring to the Cowboys and their secondary will be the cover 4 match. This gives you an opportunity to be versatile, to have that multiplicity in your defense, because in the cover 4 match, and this is brilliant what Vic Fangio has been able to do, it looks like 2 high safeties. Mm-hmm. And so let's bring it to the field. Let's bring it up, John. All right, so here's what you have right here. Cover 4, off the rip. Here's what we know. We know that the Green Bay Packers are an 11 personnel. Yep. That is 1 tight end, 1 back, 3 wide receivers, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, they're in a 2-by-2. As you see, 2 receivers up top, tight end, and receiver down bottom. And so now the Eagles are playing this quarters coverage, right? Quarters. Mm-hmm. So now quarters coverage, cover 4 coverage. As you see, every one of those DBs has a quarter of the field, right? So he has all the way back. 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 But now here's where the multiplicity comes into this match. The quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage. He sees 2 high safeties. So now in his mind, he's thinking about the route concept and he's saying, okay, 2 high safeties, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to be off. I'm going to have a little bit more cushion. I can get to my top of my drop and fire the ball on the outside. But things change as you get into this thing. You now send the motion with the Green Bay Packers, as you see right now. when that receiver gets to the other side of the ball, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
It now goes from the cover four where everybody's playing a quarters to now we coming to the other side of that where it is a 3-by-1 now, and you have the match. The match now happens because the receiver lines up on the outside. He becomes the new number one. Right. As the defense is counting this, the DBs are looking at that, and the furthest guy to the outside, he's wide receiver number one. The second guy is wide receiver number two. Now, in the match, why this is important is because the safety, it becomes man-to-man coverage when wide receiver number two, the guy who's in the slot, when he goes vertical and attacks that safety, it goes from being a zone coverage to a match coverage. He's going to take number two vertically. So right now, on this side of the field, you have a match. You have the cover four match right now. Number one's going to line up with number one. Number two's going to take him vertically. Now, backside, here's where things become multiple and you have a little different thing. So here you have it. Go back. Here you have it right here.
Right there.
All right, so now up top, you have Quinyon Mitchell. He's in quarters coverage, but it's man's quarters coverage because he's pressed up on that, not pressed up on that guy, but he's covering that guy like he's in the man-to-man. Because there is no number two vertical on the far side of the field, you see now Reed Blankenship step down into the mix where if that number one from the top crosses over and comes into his zone, he'll pick them up. But until then, he's reading the eyes of the quarterback, right? He has enough depth that if number one comes inside on a big, deep crossing over, he can pick him up. As you see at the bottom, number two goes vertical. That safety is still there because remember, at the end of the day, quarters coverage is made so that you don't get beat deep. It is to protect you from getting beat deep. So as you see, number two carries vertical. He's picked up. You have number one. He's still keeping his outside leverage, eye back in the quarterback because it's still zone. But he's keyed to number one vertically. And as you saw, Clarence, you talked about it. Well, who's that guy that plays that linebacker spot right there? You see it right there. It's Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is now playing the flat coverage in this quarter.
And that's his responsibility.
And that's his responsibility. He understands anything that comes to the flat, that belongs to me. Next slide. And so now what you have up here, you see right here where everybody's matched up at. You see that Cooper DeJean at the bottom. He's covering that flat tight end right there. You see, who is that? Adoree Jackson. He's matched up with number one wide receiver with still eyes in the backfield because he's keeping his leverage. He's still keeping that quarter's depth. You see the safety. He's matching that number two wide receiver from the inside. He's still keeping his quarter's depth, but he's matched up with the man-to-man. And now, look at Reed Blankenship on the backside. He understands now because number two is starting to come into his zone. What is he doing? Eyes on the quarterback, and he's starting to shed a little bit to that side and think, if you think you're going to throw this over route, I'm going to step right in here and rob this and intercept the football. And then up top, Quinyon Mitchell has his man locked up there, again, maintaining that quarters coverage, understanding that I have no help top of me, right? I have the quarter of this that goes from where I stand to infinity and beyond. I have that, but I also understand that I'm guarding this guy in front of me. And with the eyes to the quarterback, what does Quinyon Mitchell see? He sees that when Jordan Love gets to the top of his drop, he sees that the ball's down. He's facing my way. His shoulders are facing my way. He's now begun his throwing motion. Now, this should have been an interception because I think he had a great jump on this because he's in that quarters coverage. His eyes are back to the quarterback. He's able to see it. He's a really, really good athlete. Put his foot in the ground and come back up and make the play on this football. He knocks it down for an incomplete pass. But that's what you get right there from the secondary perspective when you're talking about the Vic Fangio cover four quarters match defense. It's a multiple defense. If things change, they have to be able to change, right? Because if they stay 2-by-2, then you're looking at Reed Blankenship doesn't come down and play like that. He plays it because if two goes vertical, he has to play him man-to-man. And so that's the type of multiplicity that you need to have in this Christian Parker secondary. You're going to need some players to do that. You're going to need some guys that's going to have to be out there technically on an island in quarters coverage if it motions to that or some sort of formation comes to that. But again, you know, Pop, I want you to go back up for a second. Pop the screens back up there one quick shot. John. Just go to the top. Just go to the top. Go to the next one. All right. So you start seeing guys looking around, communicate. Well, no, go to the next one.
Communication is key.
Communication is key, right? Go to the next one. Guys are all communicating through all of this. The communication is key. And the one thing that I spoke on a lot last year was when you're in a space, if you're a chef, if you're a mechanic, if you're a painter, if you are a carpenter, and you're in a space where those things are transpiring and you have God-level knowledge about what's going on, you speak up about it.
You speak up about it.
You talk about it. You communicate it. When you hear about defenses having communication issues, confusion issues, I didn't get the call, it's because you have players on defense who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
So when you don't know what you're doing, you don't communicate it.
You 1,000%.
You don't communicate it.
And then with defense, that's why they say, he took the top off of it because someone didn't communicate.
Someone didn't communicate.
Or if your technique and your style is not there, you got to keep your shoulders square. You got to understand if this is the progressions on the field side versus boundary side, now you have different leverage responsibilities that you can do within the confines of your system. But that do not work if you guys don't have the training.
If you don't have the training, if you don't have the communication, and I don't care what sport you
it's
play.
The basics, always
you
the fundamentals.
You can play any sport and you want.
Shoulder
When
square.
it comes to the defensive side of it, the teams that communicated the best are usually the ones who are the most successful in it. Because even though, again, I said earlier that fatigue makes cowards of us all. So even in the midst of being in a game, I can get tired, I can get a little bit relaxed. But if I say this like, hey, Jay Holly, hey, listen, man, we in Palms. Hey, you got deep third, or you got this, or you have that. Oh, dang, you know what? You're right. Okay, cool. I was in the fall. I thought you said cover 3.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, that's going to be key to have a successful defense. Getting players that, you need
communication,
players.
like you said with the linebacker. You got to yell the switch.
You got to yell all of that.
Yell the switch.
When it motions, when that guy goes from one side of the ball to the next, and it goes from 2x2 to 3x1, guess what? It changed because the number 1 that was on originally when they broke the huddle has now become the number 2.
Facts.
So our responsibilities change. And that's why you have to have the communication. It's key. It's vital. It's important. So that's the part that Christian Parker has to do a great job on, is communicating and letting everybody know what they have, why they have it, and be able to bark it out for everybody on the field.
I'm snapping it up, man. Snap it up, man. Spoken word.
Spoken word.
Snap it up, man. It's good stuff.
In poetry. Yeah, boy, good.
You got something you want to add to it? Or like
no, it's great stuff, man. I like it. I like the concept. I like the ideas. I like the communication. Dory Jackson was still barbecue chicken.
Oh yeah,
listen, that's gonna be. He's food. Listen, we get excited, and I want to caution Cowboy fans.
Mm-hmm.
See, this
scheme is great.
That's why they get on you. That's why they get on you.
Hey,
that's why they get on you.
Don't expect shutout.
Don't expect.
Don't expect.
All right, but this is what we can.
There will be some barbecue chicken out there. There will be some weak links.
Still cook food out there. Just for example,
Dory Jackson. Jackson had about 3 touchdowns that first game against that
for sure. And just like we're gonna say about this, that's why you coach to the strength, because even Cooper DeJean, the boy still got stiff hips out in the space by himself. But what they do, Jesse, they put him inside. He can play with more leverage. He got the linebackers on his side. He got the safety over the top. And at some points, he also had the other cornerback. So that's why coaching is such a very pivotal spot, because if you put Cooper DeJean on an island by himself with GP or CD, that's cooked food. That's even him.
What about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? That safety, that nickel.
He's cooked food without leverage too. And I know he likes to talk.
He was a big part of that Super Bowl defense. He made plays everywhere he go.
That joke got head case.
Oh, he had head case. He'll mess up the locker room. Oh, he will mess up the locker room. But that boy can play now.
He can play, but he still would need
you haven't established a good enough community, right? You have a good enough culture, a good enough locker room where you can have that type of volatility come in there.
Volatility.
You
they ran him out of Houston.
Maybe in about a year or so, once Christian Parker comes in and in partnership with Brian Schottenheimer and creates a good enough culture where you can let some volatility come in there and then not ruin the locker room. They ain't there yet. They ain't there. And some of these young players are very, very impressionable. And Gardner Johnson, he's one of them guys that he'll pull some players in the wrong way that you don't need them going in that direction, man. So,
and go against the coach.
publicly as well.
Is he a modern day Pac-Man a little bit?
No.
Nah, ain't nobody Pac-Man.
Ain't nobody
Pac-Man. Pac-Man is one of a kind.
Yeah.
Still.
Pac-Man is one of
Still.
kind. All right, man. What we got in the super chat real quick? We got Vance in the super chat right here. So according to the graphic, is CP gonna walk?
You got good eyes. Well, you got good eyes.
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you say?
This one's WPS too. He's referring to this graphic where I pointed out that he looks like Winston from New Girl. Jesse, I'm guessing you've watched all of New Girl.
Yes,
Yeah.
Speechless.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And then we got Ozzy. Ozzy said Chill is taking his yearbook picture today. You combed your hair and everything.
Yeah, there you go.
You combed that hair like Frederick Douglass. I like it, boy. Black history, man.
Yo, so let
Let
the soul glow.
My hair dirty.
Show the soul glow.
It's dirty. It's dirty.
Let the soul glow.
It's dirty.
Let the soul glow.
My hair just dirty. It's dirty. It's wash day today, man.
Soul glow.
All right, man. What we got coming up next? I'm on a different screen and
We're
everything.
talking
like
about
that.
Schotty.
Yes, Schotty taking the lead. Schotty taking the lead in the hiring process. You know, what he learned from his hiring process and how he applied that to the hiring process of now Christian Parker. Coming up next in the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Oh, man, listen, we got a bunch of sales going on here, man. One, we still want you to be a diehard, but before you become a diehard, if you want to get a t-shirt, you need to go get a t-shirt right now, 30% off site-wide. That means the branded Bills hat, good quality hats, good clean, good clean girl right there. Good quality hats right there. You want me coming to America? Good clean girl. All right, never mind.
That boy good.
That ain't WPS. That's my coming to America.
I got it.
You want you a good girl? Go down to church. Get you a good clean girl.
I was reading Dominique and then you talking about clean girls. I wouldn't.
Of course, you find the ladies in the chat all the time. But Clarence, if you want to buy a lady in the chat a t-shirt, go on the website.
There you go.
Hey, Dominique, tell Clarence what size you want. 30% off right now. He can go buy you a shirt site-wide. Go get hooked up with that right there. And once you go buy your shirt, then you become a part of the supporters club. You can do it in any direction you want to do. You can become a supporters club member first. You can buy a t-shirt first. I just need you to do both of them. Do all of them, right? Like do all of them. I don't care what order you do them in. But I would say go to the website first and buy a t-shirt because you don't want your size to run out. You know what I'm saying? I always tell y'all, some of bodies are made in the wintertime. So some of y'all might be a little thick right now and you might be a little slim in the spring and summer. I don't know. Some of y'all might be slim right now and get thick in the summer. So buy your t-shirts accordingly. I don't know what sizes is there. So
too hot in Texas to be getting thick in the summer.
Well, listen, this is Texas. You know, this is Texas. Them churros and street tacos. Them churros and street tacos. They run hard. And shout out to our guy, Fran Duffy. His draft guide is out right now. Over 170 and counting in-depth scouting profiles from Fran, all compiled after watching college games, filmed and holding discussions with coaches and evaluators all across the country. He's reporting from the Shrine, the Senior Bowl, and the NFL Scouting Combine out in Indianapolis. We'll see him next week. So go and check that out right there today, baby.
That boy said thick all season.
Yeah, welcome back to the Cowboys DLLS podcast, the BET edition. For all the thick ones out there, I apologize.
Hey,
I got nothing to get thick.
Can you make it bigger?
You gotta get some Mars Men for that or something. I don't know what to tell you. You need to dose up on your Mars Men, man.
Hey, man.
Wrap it up in there.
Wait a minute.
I like big backs.
What about what the men do to him?
Jeez.
Listen, these men are just rough on me.
Ooh.
What about Schotty the big backs? How about Schotty the big backs?
I played that one 10 seconds ago.
Okay, I'm making sure. I didn't hear Jacob talking.
Turn your hearing aid on. Turn the hearing aid. That was Sister Act. You remember Sister Act? I'm giving y'all movies.
I got you, man. I got you, man.
Alma.
Michael Parsons sucks.
So Brian Schottenheimer, he was I haven't seen Brian Schottenheimer smile that much.
Yeah.
He was cheesing up there, talking about Christian Parker and just the process, the meetings,
right?
The thing that they took him through, the mock, the mock team meetings, the board work, the Zoom meetings, and they took him through the ringer. And Christian Parker said he was ready for every turn that they took him through. But Brian Schottenheimer talked about what he went through and how that evaluation process that he had to go through with Jerry and them, how that kind of helped shape how he went through this evaluating process this time. Clarence, you were there and you were in the building, so speak more into that.
Well, it was interesting because we talked about last year how Jerry hired Eberflus,
right?
But Schotty went through the process and got all these young coaches. Got Clayton Adams. Everybody loves Clayton Adams, and and things like that. How he went and did this interview process, identified guys that he wanted, and Jerry said, "This time I'm going to change. I'm going to lean into what Schotty did last year for the defensive search." And that's what they did. He said, had over 40 interviews. They interviewed 9 different guys for the defense coordinator job. They went through a process. They took, again, Parker and everybody else through the ringer. And they landed on the right guy. But it was about Jerry trusting Schottenheimer based on what the results of last year with Clayton Adams, trusting his process and allowing him to take the lead. And that's why Parker talked about they all seem aligned. When he got here, he said there was an alignment throughout. From Jerry, Steven, Schotty, and how they went. That's what intrigued him about the job because of the alignment about everybody in the process. And again, it was led by Schottenheimer. That is new. We're talking about the Cowboys. Are they moving different?
Yeah.
Moving different. This is an example of them moving different. This is an example of Jerry moving different, letting Schottenheimer take the lead, run the point, be the quarterback on this hiring process.
Yeah. The thing that I love most about this hiring process is that now I believe Schottenheimer can really be himself. I think that first hire, Eberflus, wasn't part of him. We know that. But now when you listen to what he said with energy, and he now able to throw jokes out there and say, hey, man, you got to catch up with me because I got my first coordinator position at 32. And now he can walk in as the senior guy and say, hey, these guys are up under me. I don't think that he could do that last year.
Yeah.
He was still like, hey, Matt Eberflus was like, I was once in your position. I was once the head coach. Now you have to I have to show you what you need to do. But now the whole entire automobile is under Schottenheimer. And it's a different thing, man, when you're driving the car yourself versus driving the car with someone else.
Yeah, it's different because most of the defense coaches were beholden to Eberflus.
Facts.
They came with Eberflus. And he was, Schottenheimer really the coach of the offense, Eberflus was the coach of the defense, But all this whole process now, Schottenheimer's at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
This Ponzi scheme, Schottenheimer's at the top of it as far as the coaching staff.
The Ponzi scheme.
The Madoff
scheme. And let's be honest, it's a Ponzi scheme. Listen, we love Schottenheimer. We love he does great interviews.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's full of caca, okay?
Uh-oh.
Sometimes, because he says the right things.
Where that
it's like yesterday.
What?
Get in that messy mobile. Go and get it.
I mean, it was like yesterday. He's 1 minute he said, I've had Parker in my notebook for 2 years. And then he didn't remember meeting Parker.
I'm not going to be messy.
He didn't remember meeting Parker. Parker said, yeah, I met you at a coach's meet and greet when we scrimmaged y'all. He didn't even remember meeting him. Yeah. But if it's this guy you had in your notebook for 2 years now, did he have him in his notebook for 2 years? I mean, you wasn't even looked at as a head coach 2 years ago.
Did he have it like scribbled on like the front? Like
but
back in high school,
notebook
you put the heart in there with the arrow through it. Y'all put the initials in it. Did he have it on the front of his notebook?
He didn't remember meeting Parker, but it sounded good. I've had a notebook. This guy we identified, and everybody, like the future of Parker. But 2 years ago he was 30. 2 years ago he was 32.
No. So basically, just saying cap. It's just for what it is.
That's okay. But hey. If it works, it works. Again, what I like is the process. What I like is how they went about it. And as I told him yesterday, and we talked many times, clearly Schottenheimer was barking up the right tree. You look at everybody they brought in, talking about this exhaustive interview process. Mm-hmm. Everybody they brought in got jobs.
Facts.
And every other city, they're saying great. Durante Jones, they're saying great things about all Jim Leonard. They're saying great things about all these coordinators who they brought in, the Cowboys brought in first to interview, did in-person interviews. And the Cowboys decided Christian Parker was one they wanted. And they picked, and he got the job first, right?
Say the best for last, I guess.
And so we love the process. Yeah. We love what they got. Then hopefully, again, everybody got plans to get hit in the mouth. Yeah. You still need players. And I asked Christian, did you get any assurances from the Joneses that he going to upgrade the personnel? And they said, yeah. Yeah. So now it's draft, free agency. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just for those who are in the chat or follow us online, and some of you may think about like, oh well, they moving different because Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones wasn't up there. Well, that's not the first time, right?
No.
Like that's like if you've been around to know,
he wasn't
they
up
went
there
for
Dan
Eben
Quinn,
Flus, they went up there for
Zimmer.
Eben Flus, for Zimmer, for a bunch of others. So Jerry, and remember, this is vacation time for the Joneses.
They just be back day one of free
Yeah,
agency.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
They'll be at the combine next week, and they'll be ready for that. But this
They'll-
was the defensive
they'll
coordinator hired. This is Schotty's guy.
Tell Jerry when you see him on the bus, just tell him to do a shirt like this so we can see his tan line.
Tan
So we
line,
can see what beach you been on. You've been sailing the Mediterranean. Have you been in the Alps? You're like, when you skiing, what you doing?
I don't want Jerry on no skis now.
Oh, I mean,
The kids watching the Winter Olympics, man. I mean, I want them on those skis, man.
The kids will be on the skis.
No Lindsey Vonn's having,
Yeah, Jerry at the cabin.
Them slopes is dangerous, man.
But yeah, so Jerry not being there definitely isn't some indication of I guess overall moving different.
Right.
No, not that part for sure.
But this, I don't want to poo-poo on the parade, but just hiring Christian Parker is a small,
the youngest coordinator in franchise history.
To me, that's a small move.
Yeah.
Now you can get back, you can add on to that.
Yeah.
By going to get what he needs.
Going to get what he needs.
You can go and get what he needs. And I'll also say this is something I was thinking about, last night, just because I was thoroughly impressed by the conversation of Christian Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this goes well,
which I think it will.
If this goes well, this will be short-lived.
Yeah.
This will be short-lived because he's gonna be a head coach somewhere.
But guess what? This is a win-win for us, though.
Okay.
Because this comes with a constellation prize due to the Rooney Rule and all of that. By him excelling, we get something back in return.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
But something back in return may not be as great as the part leaving.
What you leaving?
You know what I'm saying?
What you got back in return from Mike ain't what you want. I mean, that sounds good.
This do sounds good.
Back in turn.
Take the
You're
mic
talking about future draft picks.
Yeah.
We're trying to win now. Okay? We're trying to win now. I'm not worried about all of this. We got a third round pick in 2 years if he becomes head coach.
Well,
It's been 30 years.
that means that he did something encouraging. Also, Schottenheimer did speak upon that. He said that the way he want to build this is that they can replicate what CP been doing.
Yeah.
And the next person can give us the same reverence that
that's
CP
how you
did.
build. That's how you build your tree. That's how you build your tree.
I mean, we doing something good,
I'm trying to
Clarence.
win now.
That mean we winning. If CP get elevated, that mean we not
win
one and done. That mean we won multiple playoffs. That mean we made it deep run into the.
Trying to win now.
And again,
that's what we said.
I think if Christian Parker comes in and he turns his defense around and they win in the way that you're talking about winning, you don't think he's going to be?
Oh, he's going to be gone.
He's going to be.
He's the future head coach.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no question.
That's what I mean.
Clayton Adams too.
Potentially, yeah.
Clayton Adams too. He gone too. That's how it works. But that's how it should work. And so you should want to Schottenheimer have a coaching tree. But if he has a coaching tree, that means that the Cowboys won big and they need to win big. It's time to win big. It's been 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years, 30 seasons.
I guess I'm not gonna sit up there and tout the future draft pick. I'm trying to win in 2027 or 2026.
2026.
Yeah. Trying to win now.
Yeah.
Trying to win now. And if something good comes from that, you're winning and he gets a head coaching job, that's fine. But at 34, he's a future head coach. There's no question about that. That's why you're on the track. But that's why, when I talk, Terrence Orr was on that track. Zachary Orr was on that track. He was a young coordinator.
I really wanted him.
He was and everybody said the right things about him. Yeah. They didn't get him no players. Okay? And now he back to being a position coach. It can go the other way too.
It can go, oh yeah, I see what you said, like far as
if you don't give no players, you don't get the results. This young up and coming coach.
I don't think
everybody gets dirty.
I don't think CP should be one and done though.
We don't think nobody thinks that. You hope that.
We are hoping that.
But it's a results oriented business. And they need the result.
And that's why Schottenheimer
I know
measured twice and cut once with this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they didn't rush this higher like they did the last
Yeah,
previous two.
it's the results already been. I mean, again, love Schotty. I'm low what he did.
Yep.
Love the future. Mike McCarthy went 12-5, 12-5, and 12-5, and that meant nothing.
Yeah.
I know.
And we're all hyping up 7-8-1. What up,
Wait.
7-9-1?
7-9-1.
You know,
Well,
talking
whether
about the future.
Yeah.
whether it's the past or whether it's the future, we're living in the particular present.
Come
And the
on.
present thing right now is that Christian Parker impressed us
Yeah.
unanimously across the board. He
Mm-hmm.
impressed with us being able to hear him for the first time this week. And so we appreciate that. For Law, for Clarence, for myself, as Jeff always says, you never know what anyone's going through, so be kind to everyone. And as I always say, eliminate the contingencies. White Boy Wednesday.
We all silly like the mayor.